peppered coconut sliced fish. Ingredients: 1 pound of sliced fish, 1 stag scallion diced, 1 1/2 medium onion sliced, 1/2 sweet pepper diced, 2 small tomatoes diced, 12 garlic cloves, 2 green peppers, Scotch bonnet or real chili pepper cut in half, 3 ripe peppers, Scotch bonnet or real chili pepper cut in half, 1 pepper, ginger cut to the size of your thumb, 2 tablespoons of sea salt, 1 tablespoon of parsley dried or fresh, 1 tablespoon of basil dried or fresh, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg grated, 1 tablespoon of pimento seeds thyme fresh. Pieces together the size of 2 fingers, 1 1/2 tablespoon white vinegar, 1/4 cup coconut oil or olive oil, 1 cup of flour, 3 cups of coconut milk, 6 okras diced, 1 Danish diced optional, 1 chocho diced optional. Instructions: 1. Stripped, washed and diced all the seasonings. 2. Scale the sliced fish when it is frozen. Then add the pieces in a bowl with all the seasonings and herbal, salt, and 1/2 tablespoon of vinegar. Now cover and allow to marinate for at least 30 minutes. 3. Put flour in a clean plastic bag or a container with a lid. Then with a cooking fork remove the seasonings lightly from the sliced fish. Add the fish slices in the flour within the container or plastic bag. Shake for a minute. It's called flouring the fish. 4. Put to heat the deep frying pot for 2 minutes or until it just starts to smoke. Then add the oil. Wait for 3 minutes. Gauge the cook on high 8. 5. Now with 1 slice at a time put the fish in the hot pot. Slightly remove the flouring before putting it in the hot oil. 6. Now very important. Leave the fish to fry on one side for 4 minutes without moving it, then the other side for 3 minutes. 7. After that, when the sliced fishes are fried, remove half the coconut oil from the pot. Be sure to use just 1/4 cup. 8. Now add the coconut milk to the pot along with all the seasonings and herbal from which the fish marinated in, and a pinch of salt, nutmeg, parsley and basil to the sauce if needed. With stove gauged at 2, use pot lid to cover the pot completely for 6 minutes. Alternatively, until it's thickened. 9. Add a tablespoon of ketchup a minute before the end. 10. Finally, add the sliced fried fish to the peppered coconut hot sauce when the stove is off. 11. Servings are for 3 persons. 12. Serve with brown rice. It's nice with peeled boiled green bananas and yam, alongside some lettuce, sliced tomatoes and fried ripe plantains.
This is 1 pound of sliced fish. Okay, we're gonna scale it. So while it's frozen a little bit, you scale better while frozen. Scale already. I'm supposed to scale already. I'm supposed to scale my thing. Apparently this is scaled already. I've never bought fish and it's scaled already, but this is. Look at that. It's ugly. It's okay still. Anyway, scale it. Make sure it's scaled. Be sure to clean out these blood clogs and all are in between here. Be sure to clean it properly. For this hot coconut fish we're gonna use 1 onion and a half, 2 carrots, a piece of ginger, about your thumb, 2 small tomatoes, 2 stalks of scallion, green onion, 6 pieces of okra, half of a chocha, 10 garlics, 2 old red pepper and 1 green. We're going to use it just like this. We're not going to cut it. A piece of thyme, 1 tablespoon of dried parsley or fresh parsley, and 1 tablespoon of dried basil. 1 tablespoon of dried basil, half a teaspoon of pimento seed, all purpose, use it old, don't crush it. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of dried parsley, and 1 teaspoon of dried basil or fresh parsley. 1.5 tablespoon of white vinegar. These okra, I picked them in my mom's garden. Yep. So just slice them like that. Now add all the seasoning and the salt and everything, and just season this together. And then cover until we are ready. Now we're going to make the coconut juice. This is the coconut. So we just shell it and strip it up in little pieces. 1 coconut. It's 2 cups of water. 2 cups of water. Then we're going to add half of this. Little bit. Little by little. And blend it. Now blend well, blend for about 3 minutes. I did it 2 times in 3 cups of water in total. 1 cup for 1 medium-sized coconut. For 1 medium-sized coconut, I add 3 cups of water, and I blend it 2 different times. So now, what you're gonna do? Strain that. So that's my fish marinating, and this is 3 cups of coconut milk, 1 coconut and 3 cups of water. It's probably 4 cups, but the coconut juice might add a cup. Add 1 cup of flour, in a container or plastic, because we're going to put the fish in it and shake it. So 1 cup of flour. No salt, nothing, just a plain flour. Add 2 tablespoons of salt. Now to 1 cup and a quarter of brown rice washed, we're going to put to boil in 3 cups of water. Put the flame on 6 and keep it slightly covered like this. Brown rice. To 1 1/4 cup of brown rice, wash it and rinse. Then put in a pot with 3 cups of water to boil. Put the cover on slightly as that, and gauge the stove on 8. 1 teaspoon of sea salt is added to the brown rice. Now after 15 minutes, that's what it looks like. Just stir it and turn your stove on low. Turn the stove on low, almost off. Look, almost off. You want it really low, like that much. Then cover it very good, carefully. Use those fancy pots you have in America. We use a seal, cover it sealed, and just let it stay. Now to fry fish, take a frying pan, like a frying pot. This is a Dutchie, a regular Jamaica frying pan. But you can use any frying pan with the depth. And you put the stove on high. and just let this get hot for about 3 minutes or until you start to see a little smoke. When frying fish, you should let the pot hot before adding the oil. Now after 3 minutes, add, or when you see a little smoke, add half cup of oil, half cup of coconut oil, and just let that hot. Just let that hot until you start to see a little smoke. Now, while the oil is being hot on the pot, with it 1 cup of flour, just remove the seasoning. Remove the seasoning and then put it in the flour. So now after 2 minutes with the pot on hot, you know, shake off the flour and just do this. Make sure it's evenly broken. So you know, let it stay on one side until we are ready to flip it. So now after 30 minutes, I'm putting the rice on low. You can test it to see if it's ready. Ready. So you can turn off the stove. Note. If it's on low, it can never burn. So you can keep it on low and you know, let it stay for a while and then test it to see if it's ready and turn it off when it's ready. Now after 3 minutes on one side, you just flip it. After 3 minutes on one side, you just flip it and let it fry for another 2.5 to 3 minutes, then turn it off. Rotate after 1 minute. After 1 minute, just rotate the fish to make sure you get an even fry. After 1 minute, rotate the fish to ensure that you get an even fry. After a total of 3 minutes, Remove. After a total of 3 minutes on each side, remove the fish. And turn off the stove. Half of this oil. Be careful and put half of the oil in a plate. Now add and put the stove on 6. Add the seasoning, put the stove on high and cover. And cover for 2 minutes. Now, after the 2 minutes, add 2 cups of coconut milk. Cover and allow to simmer. Put the stove on low, almost off, and allow to simmer. Now after 8 minutes, after 8 minutes, this is what it looked like. Now add the pepper. Just remove the stem. The peppers. 2 red pepper whole and 1 green pepper. And just cover it. Now after a total of 15 minutes with it being on low, you should now turn the stove on very, very low. Now after a total of 20 minutes, stir your pot. Let's look at it. You can turn it off and add the fish. Add the 3 cups of coconut, the 3.5 cups of coconut milk. Add the 3.5 cups of coconut. Now, after 30 minutes, check the fruit to see if it's cooked. You can turn it up, put the stove on 3 for about 2 minutes and then turn it off. Add the fish. Add the fish. Turn it off and just let it stay. Let it stay for about 2 or 3 minutes before serving. Now, after 30 minutes, check the fruit to see if it's cooked. You can turn it up, put the stove on 3 for about 2 minutes and then turn it off. Add the fish. Add the fish. Turn it off. Hot. This is hot coconut peppered fish. Hot peppered coconut fish. That's hot peppered coconut fish.